Law of Assumption for Love. Hello and welcome to another episode of our intriguing video. Today we will be taking a look at the law of assumption for love, the propounder of the law, how the law of assumption works, etc. Before the main gist, a special appreciation to you for taking out time from your busy schedule to watch our videos. Also, do not forget to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and also turn on the notification bell to keep updated about our new releases. And do not forget to check the link in the description below for more info. What is the law of assumption? First, let us start by looking at what the law of assumption is all about. It is the belief that a thing exists or is true unless it is proven otherwise. The law of assumption is one of the most fundamental legal principles in existence. It's hard to think of an area of law where this principle does not apply, but let us focus on the two areas you're likely most familiar with: personal injury and business. Let's say you get into a car accident, and the other driver runs away without leaving any information behind. Under the law of assumption, you are allowed to proceed as if she was at fault for the accident. You can file a claim against her and seek compensation for your injuries without having to prove she was at fault. If you enjoy watching this video, take a moment to subscribe to our channel, and also do not forget to check the link in the description below for more info. Law of assumption for love. In this section, I will tell you how to make your partner love you by the law of assumption for love. This is the most powerful technique in the world because it works with human psychology. By using this technique, you can make your partner think that you are the only person he or she loves, and only you are important for him or her. You will not have to say anything. Everything will be done by your partner's subconscious mind. Your partner will do everything for you, even if he or she does not know about this law. This law has been discovered by a famous Barbadian scientist and psychologist, Neville Goddard. He has invented this technique after years of research on human subconsciousness. He has discovered that we have many sub-personalities in our subconsciousness, but there is also the main personality that controls all these sub-personalities. When you are using this law, your main personality becomes stronger and stronger, while other sub-personalities become weaker and weaker until they disappear completely. Who propounded the law of assumption? You guessed right, it was Neville Goddard. He believed that the law of assumption is that if you want to understand something, assume it's true, and try to figure out what would be implied if it were true. If you don't start from some existing assumption, you cannot possibly get any insight into the thing, because there is nothing to contradict. He also proposed that the law is the main tool for overcoming the problem that plagues all beginners in every subject: ignorance. He knew this is one of the most useful laws in science. If you say that if you can't figure out what's going on, assume it has something to do with the thing you're most interested in. He was an American spiritual teacher who taught a non-dogmatic, practical spirituality. Neville Goddard was born in Barbados on February 19, 1905. He immigrated to New York City around 1922 and worked as a ballet and ballroom dancer until he met an Ethiopian rabbi around 1931. Who introduced him to Kabbalah. He became a US citizen during the time of World War II when he served in the United States Army. How the law of assumption works. According to the original concept of the law of assumption, you can make a meaningful statement about what someone is doing or thinking just by assuming that they've acted rationally. This law has wide application, but it is important to remember that it does not apply in all cases. The most obvious example where the law of assumption does not apply is when the other person is trying to deceive you. If you are being lied to, the liar may be a rational deceiver and may be trying to achieve a goal that makes sense given their beliefs and goals, but they are still trying to deceive you. They have chosen a false belief. You are not merely making an error. If you have not subscribed to our channel yet, please go like and subscribe to our channel. And also, do not forget to check the link in the description below to know more. Law of assumption secrets. In a way, the law of assumption secrets is just a special case of the law of attraction. The difference is that instead of thinking about getting something good, you focus on avoiding something bad. This works because it sets up a vibration in your energy field that is the opposite of what you don't want. If you are worried about losing your job, for example, you will be vibrating in the same way as if you were already unemployed. Since energy attracts like energy, whatever you are feeling will tend to manifest itself into your physical reality. When this works well, it can be very helpful. The point is not to worry about things, but to take charge of your emotions and choose what you want to experience. It's a technique for deliberately choosing your emotions rather than letting them choose you. Energy too is one of the world's most popular drugs. Because it comes to us free in the form of sunlight, we tend to overlook it. We assume there's no such thing as a free lunch, but this is a mistake. Energy is not just a free lunch, it's an all-you-can-eat buffet. The first lesson of energy is that you don't need to understand how something works to use it. You can ride a bicycle even if you don't know how the parts work and don't understand Newtonian mechanics. Likewise, you can live well without needing to understand how energy works or even that it exists. And yet, if you do understand energy, you'll be better able to use it for your benefit and avoid being used by it for someone else's benefit. The secret is to see energy not as static but as a dynamic force, constantly passing from one form to another, each time becoming less useful but always remaining useful in some way. And this leads to the second lesson. Using that energy well means keeping track of its forms and flows over time, which requires looking at whole systems rather than single components. Law of assumption for a specific person. The assumption for a specific person is a way to clarify one's thinking. I found it especially useful in situations where I want to explain something to someone else. It is when you realize that if you analyzed your conversations carefully, they were a complete list of all of the possible arguments you might make against doing certain obnoxious things, and all the possible responses you can make for it. And here's the thing, after analyzing them, none of them seemed very important. Manifesting a specific person for love effortlessly. Assume you have manifested a specific person for love and ask yourself, how will you know whether or not this is your desire? There are many ways to manifest a specific person. One is to visualize that person in your life. You can also write the person's name on pieces of paper and bury them around the house. Make sure you include the person's physical characteristics, personality traits, and other preferences in your description. To manifest a specific person to be in your life, first take an inventory of your strengths and weaknesses. If necessary, make a list of the qualities you believe will make the other person attracted to you. Then use this list as a guide to enhance these characteristics within yourself. To prepare yourself for the manifestation of love, imagine how it feels to be in love with this individual. Imagine how it would feel if things were just like you want them in this relationship. Step by step, envision exactly how you want things to play out between the two of you once there is a clear intention and understanding about what the relationship is going to look like going forward. What do you want? What does he or she want? Is the law of assumption real? The law of assumption states that in every argument, the burden of proof is on the person making the claim. That's different from how things work in maths class, where if you make an assertion, you have to prove it. The law of assumption is more liberal. If you want to prove something, the burden is on you. If someone else wants to disprove it, they will have to do all the work. How do I know about this amazing law? Because I heard about it years ago from a friend who was studying law. She told me that whenever there was a dispute about what some old document meant, her first step was always to look for the part that said, "The proof of this will be left as an exercise for the reader." In my experience, the law of assumption works much better in academia than in personal life. The reason is simple. Academics are trained to assume that everything is nonsense until proven otherwise. Personal life is full of people making bold claims on no evidence whatsoever. Is the law of assumption universal? The law of assumption is a spiritual law that states whatever you assume will become a reality, because whatever you want is already within you. It helps you empower your inner creator's power. It could be a universal law, because it works similarly to the law of attraction, but it's different. The law of assumption is when you make assumptions about what you expect to happen, and those assumptions become a reality. The law of assumption is used to create a reality that you want by assuming that has already happened. You can also assume things about your life, such as happiness or wealth. The assumptions about happiness or wealth are related to specific behaviors that you engage in, such as smiling, being grateful for what you already have, and making the decision to develop a positive attitude towards life. With that, we have come to the end of today's video. You can hit back at us in the comment section to help us serve you better. Also, do not forget to like this video, click the link in the description, and subscribe to our channel. Also, turn on post notifications to get our videos as soon as they are released. Peace out.